Hello everyone, it is Leo again, and my companion Phantom is behind me, as you already know. So you might see him move around and stuff. But I have my little note card as well because literally like organizing my thoughts. Yeah. But so for today's topic, I want to talk about relationships and why it's not a bad thing to not be in a relationship in college, and maybe it's even a good thing to not be in a relationship in college. So I wrote a little list of some of the reasons why people may feel like they need a relationship or want a relationship in college, and then I wrote a list of the positives of not being in a relationship in college. So, number one, I'm gonna be kind of brief with these, but number one is loneliness. We all feel lonely. I understand because I be feeling lonely sometimes, and you're like, oh, I feel so lonely, or I feel sad. I want someone to be with me and love me and stuff, and that's valid. But people feel a lot like that, like very lonely and stuff. That's one reason. Another reason, comparison. Comparison is really bad, especially in our generation, in like on social media, Instagram, Facebook. I mean, most people don't use Facebook, but you know what I'm saying. Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, especially, Twitter, Snapchat, Tumblr, Pinterest, like all that shit is romanticized. Like all that shit is romanticized. It's a comparison issue we have because we see the best parts of people's lives, but in reality, like this. So we see the best parts of people's lives. This is people's life on Instagram, right? And this pin represents all the bad shit. We only see the good shit. We don't see all the bad and the good, especially in relationships. So comparison issues are really big. The third thing, while we may want to be in a relationship, is it's all you know. It's all you've seen on social media. It's all you see with your family, your parents, your friends at high school and college. It's all you know. You don't really know anything outside of that. And I'm not saying you're unknowledgeable, but think about your environment that you're in. If that's the only thing you constantly see, that's all you're really going to perceive and know. The fourth thing, we want companionship. All of us want companionship. We all want to be in a relationship, most of us at least. We all want to feel loved and valued. We all want to hold someone at night. We all want to kiss on someone, love on someone, buy them presents, be with them, go out on picnics, go on dates, like take cute pictures. Like, everyone wants to do that. There's nothing wrong with that. But it can become a problem when you want companionship and you can't get that because it makes you feel some type of way. The fifth thing, reasons why people may want to be in a relationship, is they want to feel valued, accepted, or understood. And that's totally understandable because that's what we get in relationships partially because we want to feel valued. We want people to like have deep talks with us. We want to go out on dinners. We want to be understood by our thoughts and our feelings and our opinions. We want to be accepted because we don't get acceptance from everyone in our lives. We really don't. So your partner's supposed to make you feel safe, like a safety thing. And finally, the sixth reason why is a distraction from your life. We all love to be distracted, for the most part, from our actual daily problems or our internal issues and problems. Like a lot of us. I do that. Most people do that in our lives. You know what I'm saying? Distraction from your life, your personal issues, your personal problems, or from you as a whole. It's a great distraction, a partner. So sometimes we want to be distracted. We don't deal with the real issues because that person is with us 24/7. So we really can't think or process things fully for ourselves sometimes. So these are just a few of like the reasons why some people want to be in a relationship. I also got my little incense. I always light it when I'm giving the talks. But so I've been in multiple relationships. I'm like bisexual. So I've been in relationships with girls and guys. Like I was with girls like middle school through early high school and stuff. Then I came out as bisexual, and then I was with a guy long distance. So it wasn't the exact same as being in person. We did meet up a few times. So it wasn't like only long distance, but it wasn't like 24/7 that he's with me all the time and stuff like that. And I had a lot of problems in our relationship, a lot. But you learn and grow. But these are some of the things that I wish I told myself when I was younger, like at 16, 17, or I sometimes tell myself these things now because I get in these like issues and stuff where I like want to compare myself, or I feel lonely, like I said before, or I want comfort. And it's just like, and that's totally valid, like how I feel. But, there's some great positives to not being in a relationship in college. So, number one, this is just my personal experience, in my opinion, and this is just some advice that I would give myself, or if someone like wants to take it, they can as well. But my number one advice, the reason it's a good thing not to be in a relationship in college, is you have more free time to discover yourself. Like you really do. Say for example, you're a girl, right? And you're dating a girl, guy, in between, non-binary, whatever, you're dating someone, right? And you're with this person like 24/7, 6, 7 days a week. You're not gonna have time to discover yourself. Like, for example, say you really like painting for years, right? And then you get in this relationship and you don't paint anymore because you're so distracted with them and their lives and your life together and all this other stuff. Because that's what happens in relationships. You get engulfed. Like, you get engulfed and you kind of become one in a way, like have each other's patterns and like you have each other's connections, you know each other's friends, you know each other's schedules and stuff. So sometimes it's better to not be in a relationship because you can get so engulfed, and there's nothing wrong with getting engulfed, but you don't have as much time for yourself to discover yourself. See, you like to travel. You haven't traveled in a year, and you used to travel like every 2 months because you're with your girlfriend at the time, and she's taking up all your time. You know what I'm saying? And that's not necessarily a bad thing, but I'm just saying as an example, like, you need to discover yourself. What do you like? What do you not like? And you can discover some things in relationships. That is a valid thing that does happen, but it's good, especially when you're late teens, early 20s, to discover yourself first before you go out and to discover your life with someone else. I think that's very important, to find yourself, figure some of yourself out, discover what you like, discover what you don't like. Go out, do things before you really try to get a relationship and stuff like that. Number 2. Now, this is like a big topic, so only some people relate, but the queer experience. And I'm not going to go too deep into it, like I could write a whole essay, like a whole video on it, but I'm just kind of making it short and sweet and stuff. Like, queer experiences are different from heteronormative relationships. And, because a lot of queer people, like for me, example, like I've only been in a small amount of relationships, so I personally don't have that much experience as some other people, honestly. Like, I've only been in 2 or 3 really committed relationships for a while, and I have my own issues like anyone else, and a good and bad experiences, but I'm not like someone, like, I wasn't dating at like 11, 12, 13, 14 years old, you know what I'm saying? Like, I wasn't doing that, and I only dated one person in high school, and it wasn't fully even in person. So it's like, I only got a limited exposure, that makes sense, but that's because of the queer experience stuff, because it was really hard to find a boyfriend in the middle of a country town, in the middle of nowhere, where everyone was like low-key, the majority of people were homophobic. You know, you live in the country, you know. So the queer experience is different, it's slower. If you're queer and you're in a relationship, because I understand that you're valid if you're not in a relationship and it takes you longer, because I feel like a lot of queer people progress slower because of the situations they've been in their past, and it's harder for them because we're not given a manual, because we see these images and these people, all these straight people, especially growing up on the internet, Twitter, Tumblr, whatever, in person every day, going out and living their straight lives. And I'm not judging, I'm just saying, like, we have a totally different experience just because we don't see that every day. It's not normalized, and it's becoming normalized now, which is a great thing. But, you know, especially growing up, it really does. It's an imprint. You get imprinted with those type of images and stuff. So if you're queer and you're not in a relationship, it's totally okay. It's valid. Your time will come, and it may be slower because, like I said, like, we have different lives than straight heteronormative people. It's sometimes slower for us, especially for like some men, including myself. It's sometimes harder and it's a slower experience, but you will get there. That, but just know you're loved and you're valid if you're queer, and it may be a little slower process, but you'll get there. You know what I'm saying? But you don't need to be in a relationship when you're young. Not always. It's your choice, but you don't always need to be in a relationship, because sometimes it's best to focus on yourself and take that slower route. Nothing wrong with that, of figuring yourself out, especially if you're queer, because being queer is a whole another level of figuring yourself out, new experiences, navigating your life. It's a whole different experience. So I hope that helps. Number 3, you're young. Literally enjoy your fucking life. You're literally young. You're 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, whatever. You could be 25. You could be 45. Like, you're literally young. You're young, in my opinion. Like I said before, you're young, so enjoy your life. You don't need a relationship when you're young. Like, you need to go out and experience things and do things. And like I said, figure yourself out. You're young. This is the one time in your life to say, screw it, and do whatever the heck you want. Go to college. Learn a trade. Go out with friends. Make out with people. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, do what you want. You're young. It's time to enjoy your life and go out and do new things. There's nothing wrong with being yourself. Don't sacrifice being in a relationship to not be yourself. Does that make sense? Like, don't sacrifice your quality time in your life to be in a relationship if you're not happy in it, first of all. And second of all, it's not doing anything for you, or you're not getting the experiences because you're young, like I said. So go enjoy your life. It's very important. Go enjoy your life. Relationships will wait. Your life won't, if that makes any sense. You can always find a relationship when you're ready. Let's see. Number 5. And this might be like a back seat topic, like not as much discussed, but like, especially when you're young, I feel like personally, you're here to focus. Like for me, I'm in college. You're here to focus on school. You're here to focus on work right now. And you don't always need a relationship to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like you kind of build yourself up before you get with someone. If that makes any sense. Like, and you're broke as heck, and you want to go out with your girlfriend or boyfriend or whatever, the person you're with, and you have no money because you don't have a job. It don't look good for you. That's realistic. It don't look good for you because you can't buy dinner. You can't buy her nice flowers. You can't buy him a nice jacket. Whatever you want to do, you know what I'm saying? Like you need a job, focus on school, focus on work. And your degree, sometimes what I've learned, people in relationships, they'll literally drop out of school or go to less school or not at least have their main focus on school. You're in college, by the way, right? So you're coming here to get education and your relationship takes up your time to really focus on school. So you're coming here, you're short stopping yourself. You're coming here and not even completing the goal you wanted to achieve because you're with someone else who's taking your time and energy and you're like not wasting it on them, but it's not being used in the right areas of your life. You came here to get a degree and finish school. And that's great if you're in a relationship. Nothing wrong with that. But I'm just saying like it takes time away. You need to come here to focus on school. And like I said before, work-wise, if you want to take that person on a date, where's the money? So maybe just focus on school and work or whatever you want to do instead of focusing on relationships so you can build yourself up into the person you want to be. So when you're ready, you can be in a relationship and it will work out most likely if you're ready. You know what I'm saying? Because some people aren't ready to be in relationships and they put themselves into relationships when they're not ready. Different. They'll figure it out. But sometimes you're not ready to be in a relationship. It doesn't make you less than, doesn't make you a negative person or this or that or anything negative like that. Sometimes you're just not ready and that is perfectly okay. Sixth one, like I was saying before, like I kind of reiterated the same thing in like why people go into relationships, but comparison. Like my sixth tip is don't compare yourself to others. Like it's so hard sometimes because when you're queer, not just queer, but any person, you see these people on Instagram living on a boat, like with their boyfriend or girlfriend or whatever. And you're like, oh my God, I want to be them. Or you see people on the street, cute couple holding hands. You're like, oh my God, I want to be them so badly. Like I want a relationship like that, especially on TikTok. I'd be getting so jealous. I'd be like, oh my God, I want a relationship like that, you know? But that only shows, like I said, it's only a perception. It only shows like 10 seconds of what's actually going on in that relationship. So do not be fooled by what you see because there's way more in-depth stuff than what actually happens on the internet. Or in person, if you see someone walking down the street on campus or wherever you live and you're like, oh, I want to be in a relationship. You don't know what goes on behind that image they want to show you. What if they're fighting? What if the boyfriend was cheating on the girlfriend or vice versa? You don't know any of that stuff. All you know is, oh, they're a cute couple. So why would you want to even compare yourself to them when you don't even know the full story? You know what I'm saying? And it's a trap. It is so easy. My friend, it was so crazy because a little side story, and I think this will help a lot of people. Our society, I realize, especially on the internet wise, is like we cannot help but intellectually, internally compare ourselves to everyone we see or do. Not everyone, but you know what I'm saying? Like we do that very easily. It's like a mechanism we keep putting into place. Like 1, we compare, 2, we compare, 3, we compare. Every time we see something we want or need or we don't have. But my friend gave me some good advice. When I was 14, well, she was my advisor. She was like, and it really helped me. Like, I hope this helps you. But she was like, if you keep comparing yourself, you're going to go down rabbit holes and you will never find a way out. And that really changed my perception of how I view comparison. Because I do still have some comparison problems. It's human, but I have less comparison issues now because I took a step back because this is a hole. We're going to call it a hole, the whole rabbit hole. You're going to keep going down this rabbit hole and you won't be able to get out of this. You won't because you keep comparing yourself and you keep putting yourself in a negative mind space and it will mess you up in the head. And then you'll feel like less valued of yourself and you'll be like, why do they have that and I don't? That's none of your business. That is none of your business what they have or they don't have because half of that shit is fake. And I'm not dissing that couple or whatever. I'm not saying half that shit is not real. It's an illusion. It is a literal illusion. Don't trick yourself into believing that something's perfect or great from the outside. You gotta look inside. And most of the time you can't even look inside because you don't know them. Okay? So I know it's super hard. It is so hard. I have the same struggle, but don't compare yourself to others because you will go down a rabbit hole. And I hope that helps. But it's easier said than done, but I believe you can do it if you just try. And there will still be comparison issues as we're human beings, you know, but the less time you compare yourself to others and more time you focus on yourself, you can give yourself more self-love and self-respect. And finally, this is a big one I feel like a lot of people don't realize, and it took me a long time to realize it, and I'm still working on it. Like, you know, like the little shimmy. But anyway, number 7, and finally, is give yourself the love you would give to others. A lot of people on this planet are very loving people. We see a lot of negative shit on the internet and images and stuff. A lot of people, I believe, have a lot of love for other people, friendship-wise, family-wise, relationship-wise, things of that nature. But give yourself the love you would give to others. Instead of pouring, I have a good metaphor. Have you seen those 2 cups? And it's like, if you keep pouring your energy or your liquid into the other cup, you don't have anything left and they are overflowing. It's kind of like that. Like, you don't need to keep pouring all that liquid, that energy in other people's cups, because you should give that love to yourself first. So eventually you can go out and give that love to others when you're ready for that. Because if you start giving love to other people and you have no love for yourself, you're going to probably like hate yourself or dislike yourself or feel some type of negative emotions and stuff like that. And it can really weigh on you, make you feel shitty about yourself, because you're like, I'm giving all this love out, I'm giving all this respect out, and I'm not getting anything back, or I'm not doing this or that, or I'm not getting this or that back. People will show you how they feel about you. That's what some people don't realize. People will show you by their actions. Listen, y'all, people will show you by their actions about how they feel about you. Take it. If it hurts, that sucks, because you deserve to be loved and respected. That does suck. But you have to remember that people will show you by their action and their word. Just listen and watch. And if you're not being respected and loved by that person, relationship-wise, friendship-wise, whatever, let it go and move forward and find better people in your life, because they're not meant for you, because they will drain you. They will suck the life out of you low key and make you feel like a negative or a bad person or whatever. And I've been in enough toxic relationships in my life, friendship, relationship, and family wise, to understand that. Give yourself the love you would give to others. Remember that, because you are beautiful and amazing just the way you fucking are. And you should try to give yourself the love you would give to others. Don't pour all that energy into other people's cups. You're going to have nothing left. You know, and it's good to give love out. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but you gotta pick when the time is to give love out, and who you're giving it to. The energy, the source you're giving it to. Is it a good source or a bad source? Do they care about you or do they not care about you? So like I said, just give yourself the love you would give to others, because it'll fill you up and you'll learn more about self-love. So eventually you can love someone the right way when you're ready. Like, you being in a relationship does not make you less than or unworthy, or you're not pretty enough, you're not hot enough, you're not sexy enough, you're not smart enough, you're not valuable, or whatever. That's all a lie. Don't lie to yourself like that, because you're valid and whole just by yourself. You don't necessarily, it's great to be in love, but you don't need someone to be in love always with you. You can do it yourself, you can love yourself or be with yourself, and that is totally okay. So not having a relationship right now, it can be a good thing, or at least not a negative thing, because society puts that into our brain. We need a relationship. We need to be in love. We need this and that. You don't need all that. That's an illusion. That's an illusion. Don't let things illusion you. That's a word. I'm saying that word, illusion you. You're loved and you're so valid. And if you're, like I said before, out of a relationship, or you haven't been in a relationship in college, you are not a bad person. You're not less than. You're not unlovable. You're not this. You're not that. You're whole just by yourself, and that's all that matters. And I hope this helps people that are struggling with relationships or wanting to be in one, because I understand, because I'd be like, oh my God, I'm lonely, I want to be in a relationship, and that's valid how I feel. But I have to remember, my time will come, and I'm focusing on myself first and my schoolwork and whatever I need to focus on before I get in a relationship. Because I don't want to go in a relationship being toxic and negative, all this bad things, go in a relationship and be like toxic and negative and explode, and whatever the negative experiences that will be caused because I wasn't ready to be in a relationship. Like I said, this is your time to live your life. So go live it. And like I said, please take this advice as you will. This is just my personal experience, how I feel, like what I would tell myself when I was younger. And I hope this has helped. And I hope maybe you'll take some of this advice. And like I said, you can choose what you take and what you leave, but it's all to love. And I hope you have a great day and I've helped you in some way. Wishing you like lots of love and light again. And I hope y'all have an amazing day. Thank you. Bye.